We're part of the Latin service providers, and our goal is to reduce stigma and disparities, engage and educate the Latinx community on mental health, resources, and inspire the future of mental health. Okay. Hi, everyone. This month, September, is Suicide Prevention Awareness Month, so we figured we would talk about signs, symptoms of mental health issues, as well as tips and tricks for self-care. My name is Milton. I'm a 21-year-old college student, and I attend the Santa Rosa Junior College.
Hi, everybody. My name is Anaí Tinoco. I am 21 years old, and I also attend Santa Rosa Junior College.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amairani Tafoya. I am 20 years old, and I'm also attending Santa Rosa Junior College.
Hey everyone, my name is Pablo Veas and I am 19 years old and I am also currently attending SRJC.
We're going to start off with signs and symptoms of mental health struggles. Signs are those that can be noticed by others. So isolation, disinterest in certain activities, avoiding family and friends. Those can be considered noticeable to other people.
I also want to add that increasing use of substances can also be a major sign. If you notice like alcohol use or drugs, all those things can indicate that people are having mental health issues, as well as some individuals express very obvious signs that they're having mental health issues. For example, a lot of people will have negative outlooks on life, or they'll say things like, I don't want to be alive anymore, or my life has no purpose. Things like that are very obvious, and sometimes we may take that with a grain of salt, and maybe not I don't know, just not believe it. So I think it's something you should definitely pay attention to, especially if you're hearing it from someone repeatedly.
So moving on, symptoms are things that one might feel but others can't see. For example, fatigue, loss of appetite, or lack of motivation. Even weight loss can be a huge symptom of suicide or any mental health issue.
There's one of the symptoms, of course, says lack of motivation. And what happens a lot I feel like in our culture is that we kind of see laziness or lack of motivation, laziness as the same thing, which is not, of course. And a lot of people, again, instead of, blaming something like on mental health, they'd be like, oh, they're just lazy, this person.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
I will have to agree with that. I feel like a lot of, even in I'm Mexican, so I feel like a lot of Mexican parents or older folks, if they see their child sleeping all day, it's kind of considered lazy, but they don't really think about what if my child or my niece, whoever is experiencing depression right now, what if they're going through some hard times with their personal life? So that's a good point that you pointed out, Milton.
Yeah. I mean, again, they assume what the laziness is coming from. They don't try to understand why is this person, on his bed all this time? Why they're not doing anything? And then instead of blaming, I don't know, something outside their environment, they're blaming oh, it has to be the person themselves. It's the person themselves to blame, not, the environment or the situation they may be having.
Yeah, I agree.
Oh yeah, and to touch on that, when people let's say you are in bed all day, or you're just quiet all the time, and your family interprets that as, if you were to tell them oh, I feel this kind of way, it's kind of we'll get over it, it's one day and that tomorrow will be fine, but sometimes people, at least I know in many Hispanic households, they don't understand that it's a repetitive thing, it just doesn't go away. They just think, oh, it's a bad day, but well, some people's day is bad every day, and it's because of mental health issues, and it's something, I don't know, we just need to spread more awareness about, for sure.
Definitely, I agree.
Also, I want to add that if you guys notice that there are different symptoms and everyone reacts differently to the idea of mental health, right? Some people drink, some people party, some people binge watch Netflix. I know a couple people who, their symptoms of depression would be them watching Netflix for hours and hours without doing anything, right? And I know.
Although it may be hard to notice if someone is experiencing symptoms of suicide or any other mental health issue, it's important to be aware of everyone and let them know that you're there. Recommend a special or offer resources for whatever they may be going through. Just making sure your loved one is well taken care of and they're very aware of that they are loved and what they're feeling is valid, and that you will continue to support and guide them as much as you can.
Yeah, to add on to that, I just want to say this again, stresses the importance of simply asking people, how are they doing? How was your day? if they had a bad day, talk about it, like at least I know personally in my house, I'm the one who's always like, my mom gets home from work, how was work? How was this? How was that? And like a lot of people are not like that, like they won't ask. And for me, I don't know, it's just very important because it's something I know I would want someone to ask me, how my day was, just because maybe it's not a good day and you need to vent a little. And just that little release of like talking about it a little bit, I think makes a huge difference, when someone doesn't have like the best day.
Yeah, I think sometimes we forget that not everyone is going to have a good day and that we'll all have bad days. And I remember in high school, I had a really bad day and kind of walked into class not really thinking much, just like a bad day. I didn't really want to talk to anybody. And I just had a friend just come up to me and say, Anaí, are you okay? And that's all I really needed. And then it made my day so much better. So just making sure your loved ones are okay, even on days that you're having a good day, maybe they're not having a good day, and just checking up on them. Just a 5-minute talk, 10-minute talk can really make a difference in someone's life, for sure.
Just maybe also like check in with yourself, ask yourself, like maybe no one asks you, but ask yourself, how are you really feeling today? Like take a second, sit, think about it. I know a lot of people, for them, they have like, I don't want to call them diaries because like some people don't like calling them that, but they have like journals where they write their feelings out, and that's like their moment to talk
Right.
and like, vent with themselves, like, hey, this is how my day went. This is what I didn't like. This was like the ups and downs of it, and maybe tomorrow will be better. I don't know. I think it's important because sometimes, like I said, some people don't take the initiative to ask you like how you're doing. So ask yourself, maybe if you don't have someone asking you, ask yourself, take a second to really think about how your day was. And it's okay, just like think about it, soak it in, and like give yourself that time. That's what I'm trying to say.
And that actually brings us up to the next topic about self-care. Self-care is extremely important. We need to normalize that. And it's okay to spend some time for yourself and enjoy things that you like to do. Everyone's unique in their own way. So we thought we'd share a few of our own. So for example, I ever since this pandemic has started, school has switched to online, and since it switched to online, I'm home more of the time. A lot of my personal job requires to be home as well and do a lot of Zoom meetings, etc. So when I'm home, I just feel stressed. So I'd rather get out the house and I just go on walks, go to the park, I go on hikes, just stuff like that. Even if it's me going to Target to pick up soap or something small, it's a lot better doing that than staying home all day because I know when I'm here, I definitely feel tension and I feel stressed. So those are some ways that I like to practice my self-care.
We definitely do, to add on to what you're saying, we definitely do live in a time where like now our house is both our home and like our school place, and for a lot of people, their workplace, which is like a lot packed into like one space. So I definitely feel like for me, my desk is in my bedroom. So it's my room, so it's my place to rest, but it's also my place to do my work. So it's very hard. And sometimes when I'm here, I'm stressed, hours of being on the computer. I know I need to like step out. And for me as well, I love to go hiking. I like hiking. I feel like, I don't know, it's just, I think many people can relate like with the idea of like walking into like, right, you're not into space because you're outside, but like you're walking into the outdoors and you just see
Right.
something and it's just so inspiring. It's like
Yeah.
the craziest feeling, like to walk outside somewhere and then be like, wow, how beautiful is this? I feel so small in such a big world.
Yeah,
I
I
don't know.
agree.
Sometimes you need to be reminded that like your problems are not the only problems in the world. Like there's so much more out there beyond you. Like for example, I don't know, I'll go hiking, I'll be on like the top of a mountain and I'm like, I'm so little in the world. Like I need to chill for a second. Like what I have going on at home or with school or work, whatever, can just wait for a second. It doesn't have to like consume my life. Also, I like to go to the beach. I love driving to the beach. I feel like it's so nice to like just take like a drive somewhere sometimes. I've discovered that I like to do word searches a lot. So like that gets my mind off whatever I'm doing. Like I'll just spend time working on word searches. Yeah, those are some of my own hobbies that I have at the moment.
For me, of course, you guys know California has been burning for a couple of weeks. So there's been fires. So we've definitely been isolated these couple of days. And my favorite thing to do, of course, is also hiking, go on walks. I love nature. It's beautiful. It's amazing. Like sun. And but ever since the fire, it's been a little difficult, getting out. And what I've realized, I think the best way that helped me is actually talking to other people, even if it's like on Zoom or texting someone, or just randomly checking up on someone. not only makes the other person feel, helped, or like, at least you're checking on someone else because maybe they haven't talked to anyone in a while, but also helps as me as well. So I'm connecting someone. And I always say this, like, for example, I feel like everybody needs just maybe a little bit of contact, even introverts. I was an introvert in high school. Even though I didn't like to be surrounded with people, I still wanted, talk to at least a couple of people. As again, we as creatures, we are social creatures. We're social people. We're social animals, and we require, be able to talk to someone. Yeah.
All right, and then for me, just kind of adding on to everyone else's, um, I also really enjoy hiking. I always like to think of working out as like my coping mechanism. It might be weird, but I always think that I'm like sweating out the stress. So like, I just like to think of it like that, and it really does help. Like whenever I'm having a bad day or something, I'll like sweat it out, and that's how I think of it. But also another thing I really love is music. Like music is definitely something that I can just go to, and like if I'm going through something, there's always like lyrics that can relate to something I'm going through. So like I'll just put my headphones in and zone out. But I think it's definitely important to know, like Milton said earlier, everyone reacts differently and like has different coping mechanisms. So it's important to know like what you like to do, and everyone's unique. So you find what you love to do and just make some time for it, and really make some time for yourself in general and do the things that you love doing.
Yeah, I have to agree. Sometimes, even though we practice self-care, sometimes while, for example, I'm on a hike, I get reminded of homework, and sometimes I have to snap out of it and be like, okay, this is my time, and I have to push homework and all personal issues aside and focus on where I want to be and take in that moment. I think Amrani said when she gets to the top of a hike and she finally gets to see a view, she takes it all in, and I think that's very important. I like to do the same thing, and just in a way, it kind of motivates me as well, because I get to the top and I'm like, all right, I'm little in this world, but I know I can make a difference if I work hard and accomplish everything I had my mindset to. So it's important to look at our goals, know that we're going to accomplish them, and push all that negative thoughts or push away all the stress and thoughts that we have in our minds and focus on the moment and really take care of our own selves. Yeah.
I just want to add, since we like all like said our own personal like ways of dealing or like mechanisms, to deal with like stress and like taking care of ourselves. There's also other ways beyond the like what we said, hiking and going to the beach and things like that, exercising. There's also like making like simple things like making sure that you eat the healthy foods, like take care of like your own physical health. Also sleeping. I think a lot of people see sleep as overrated sometimes, and it's like it's crucial to for us to like function throughout our day. So make sure you actually sleep. I know that sounds so like obvious, like duh, we all go to sleep, we have to, but like some people really just, oh, I'm running on 2 hours. It's fine. That's like my everyday. And it's not, you need to give yourself that rest and that time for your body to just shut down, and that's your time for your mind to shut down away from all the things you have going on in your life. Other things, like we said, the importance of engaging in outdoor activities. It can be hiking, going on jogs, whatever, walking, just taking a walk around your neighborhood. There you could also do reading. I know like a lot of people enjoy reading. Sometimes it like gets your mind so like you get so absorbed into a different kind of story, which is good, because it takes you again away from your own things, and it like, you're using your imagination while you're reading. Or like,
Right. That's
yeah,
right.
those are just, I just want to share some like other ways you can practice self-care.
How do you guys feel like mental health has changed from before COVID and during COVID?
Ooh, that's a good question. Um, I'm
I,
thinking about personal experience. You can go ahead, Pablo. I'm
oh,
still thinking.
I was gonna say, I feel like it's even more important now that we have all of this going on, because like personally, it definitely has been a lot harder because you see all this going on and you feel hopeless in a sense. And it's kind of like you really do have to practice self-care, because like my schedule has definitely gotten a lot busier with like classes being online and everything. It's kind of not really at your own pace, but like there's still deadlines and stuff to fulfill. So it's just a lot to pile on. So you really have to take that time for yourself in order to stay motivated and stay focused on what your goals are and what you're going to do to reach them. It may seem like really hard right now, but we'll get through it.
Yeah. I think for for my own reason, I have an 8-year-old brother and a 17-year-old sister, and I'm always guiding them, especially with my brother. He's still in elementary school, so it's really hard for him to navigate the computer. And sometimes he's in class while I'm in class. He just seems to interrupt my class because he needs help in the computer, and it's a stressful time right now for me, for sure. And I realized as soon as the pandemic started, I knew it was going to be difficult, but I didn't realize how difficult it will be. I'm working, and then as soon as my class ends, I go back to work. It's like I don't seem to catch a break in between my work life, school life, and personal life. And like I said, like Pablo said, taking care of yourself is really important. I've managed, thankfully, I don't work weekends, so weekends is really the time that I get to myself. And sometimes I don't even get weekends because I have homework and I have studying to do. So I've tried my best to have Sundays off, completely off, just to myself, for family and friends, just to have a social life, but also take care of my mental health. Because I've dealt with depression, I've dealt with suicidal thoughts, I've dealt with all of that, and I know how deep in my feelings I can get, and that's something I've have tried my best to avoid. And it's not always successful. Sometimes they pop in there once in a while, and I have to snap out of it and really take care of myself. And as soon as I hit that point, I realized that I've probably overworked myself, and I just need the whole day off. And I think Sundays, ever since I've made Sundays completely free, has really helped me. So yeah, started. I know for me personally, I was thinking of taking therapy sessions, and then pandemic hit, and then I couldn't take my therapy sessions anymore. And I think that when I realized I couldn't take my therapy sessions, I'm like, oh snap, I have to now really take care of myself, because if I can't talk to a therapist, and if I keep increasing, or if I keep not taking care of myself, then my symptoms are going to get worse. And I'm pretty sure I'm not the only one who felt that way. I was taking therapies just because I've never done it before. I believe everyone should take at least one therapy session, just no matter if you're happy, if you're feeling stressed out. I think it can be very beneficial to anyone. And I think at that point, I was like, I just want to try it out because I know it can benefit me in many ways. But I don't know. I think everyone has their own personal experience with that. Now I'm in a lot better place than I was before the pandemic, if that makes sense. I don't know. I feel like this pandemic has really shaped me and has taught me more about myself and what I can and cannot handle. And now that I've learned that about myself, I feel like I can implement that into my schedule and to see what other things I can take on. I know yesterday I had a job offer and I had to decline it because it was just too much for me to handle right now. But yeah, so I think
that this whole pandemic and everything going on has for sure disrupted someone's life in some way or another, even if it's in the most minimal way. Like, I don't want to say minimal, because like shifting from in-person classes to like now online is not a minimal change, it's a huge change. But that's a change that, as we're all college students, it has applied to all of us, you know. So I think it's, yes, everyone's personal experiences are different, but I think the ways in which like it has affected everyone's life, it has affected everyone's life. Like, there's no way around that. Like, everyone has been touched by this, I guess you could say, this pandemic, but in one way or another. And for some people it's a lot more severe, just because like people who are already suffering of mental health issues, you know, they already, like you were saying, you were going to take your therapy sessions and now like you can't do that anymore, right? Well, imagine for those people like who had already been taking their therapy sessions, and now all of a sudden they lost that, you know. So, or they like probably changed to, I don't even want to know how, like Zoom meetings, how would that, I don't know how that would look now. therapy sessions. But like my point is, either way, like we have all been disrupted in one way or another. So that's one thing that I think anyone, if you ask anyone like walking by or something, like that's something they can all agree on. It has disrupted everyone. And to some extent that takes a toll, like I know me personally, I'm just a lot more, if it makes sense, I'm a lot more in my head now. Like I'm just more with like with me and my thoughts, which can be scary, I mean, like anyone, we overthink, but I just feel like it's just a lot of overthinking all the time, a lot of like doubt coming in at it, like peeking in all the time. Lack of motivation for sure, like it's just hard. But like I said, practice your own ways of self-care, like we've been saying, it's really important to like just dedicate yourself, like dedicate the time to yourself. I mean, you deserve it, whether or not you're someone who's super busy or someone who has more free time than others, like we all need it. There's no way around that. And it's just I think the hardest part is just finding what truly like gives you that like peace of mind, so yeah.
I agree.
Well, thank you for all you guys sharing. That's really awesome. Next, we can do one more question, and then we can end the podcast. And then we can do the quote. Do we have a quote in mind?
Yes,
Perfect.
I have it.
Okay, perfect. So
I have a question. Should we talk about more about suicide, or do you guys think we touched that topic pretty well?
I mean, we can talk about further suicide, but the problem is, I don't.
Or
do you
should
want to do more facts or
like,
personal experience, or like just
What
overall,
aspect?
just try and touch it more?
What was that, Pablo? Sorry.
Oh, like what aspect of suicide? Because I know we talked about signs and
Symptoms. Yeah. I don't know. I feel like I think self-care was our
Yeah.
main topic. No.
Yeah.
Okay, then I think we're good. I just wanted to like check in and see how you guys felt about suicide, because it seems like we touched on it briefly.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know if you guys want to include more, or if I'm pretty sure at the end I can search up a picture of suicide, like a infograph, and we can probably put it in the center, or put it. I can share my screen and do that towards the end.
Okay.
Okay, but yeah, go on, Milton.
Another question?
Yeah.
Oh shoot. Okay. I had a good one. Totally forgot about it. I should have wrote that one down.
Oh, I thought you already had some down. If not, it's fine.
No.
Or does anyone have a question?
I mean, I had an idea because you kind of touched on briefly about family. How did family? Because now a lot of people are closer to family. Actually, no, they can be either or, huh? They can be more isolated from their family.
Oh yeah, I think I'm more isolated than my family. I've been going out a lot just because if I stay home, and I'm home with them every single day and every second of the minute, like every second of the minute. Wow. You can, since I help my brother out a lot, and he's also needing help with Zoom meetings and Zoom classes. I get stressed out. I like have breakdowns, and I just get so mad at him, and then I look back and I'm like, there was no reason for me to be mad. Like that gave me a clue that I need to get out this house, and I just need a break from everybody. As much as I love my family and I want to spend time, I just need to get away. And my parents, or my mom was just telling me the other day, I'm like, why are you going out so much? It's like, and then I just told her, I just need a break from everybody. Like I need to hang out with other friends. Like I need to go on a walk. Like I just need a break, because I be having some outbursts that don't make sense at all. And I realized it's just because I need a break. So yeah, that's another thing for me, for sure. Just taking a break and going outside for a minute at least.
Wow, I really appreciate you sharing that, and wow, yeah. Like that, like I hit home. Yeah, that like definitely,
Yeah.
that's for
I
sure
feel
sign.
like
Sometimes you'll be acting some kind of way, and you're like, who am I? Like, what the heck am I doing? Like I've never like just all of a sudden just immediate snap, and it's like, why? Like that person didn't deserve that, and that I think that's a major sign. Like, hey, you need some self-care time. Like you need to like step away. And like I said, it's so hard because like now a lot of people's home is their workplace and everything, their school, work, everything. So, and then like you said, like you have your like helping siblings, things like that. So it's for sure. I mean, it's kind of upsetting, like with yourself. You're like, well, why am I acting this way, you know? But I think I'm very happy to know that, like, you know, that that's like your cue, like, hey, I need to get out of the house and like just step away, you know? And it's good that you tell your family, like, hey, I just need this time for myself. A lot of people don't realize like that's a major sign, like, hey, like, get out, go do something that will make you feel better, you know? So thank you for sharing.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was just gonna say that I think a lot of us can relate to this, but our families being kind of toxic too sometimes. I feel like family responsibilities like in itself is a whole different job. So it's like on its own tasks that you have to handle basically. And so it's okay to sometimes need a break from your family. I know I definitely sometimes like being stuck at home with them and everyone is kind of coming at each other because we've been stuck in here for so long. So I think it's really important to get out and definitely take breaks from your family. I know a lot of us used to kind of depend on school to be our safe haven to like kind of get away. But now that school is our house, it's definitely a lot tougher to just cope with.
I wanted to provide a couple crisis lines, some numbers that you can call if you ever find yourself in need of assistance. So the National Suicide Prevention Lifeline phone number is 800-273-8255. This line is available 24/7, like I said, and provides services both in Spanish and English. And here in Sonoma County, more specifically, their crisis line is administered by North Bay Suicide Prevention Program, and their phone number would be 855-587-6373. So if you find yourself in need of help or someone to talk to, or you or a family member or someone you know may need help, you can always provide this number. It's anonymous, and you can just go ahead and call and receive help, and I'm sure they'll guide you to whatever like specific help you need or resource.
Thank you, everybody, for joining in our podcast. It was lovely to hear from everybody's perspective on suicide and self-care. I hope you guys found this beneficial or entertaining, or got some information out of this. So thank you very much for joining in.
I'm happy that everyone shared something. I learned a little bit about everyone here, and I see the importance of definitely, reflection, checking up on yourself and making sure, you're.
All right, and before ending the podcast, we just wanted to end it with a quote that we found really inspirational. So, Amairani, you can go ahead.
If you take care of your mind, you take care of the world. So remember that. Thank you.
Thank you.